Hey everybody, welcome back. Devin, the original Ragnar, the OG, sitting down, and we are going to be stepping into our first turn of our third and final playthrough of our study in three medians of the Battle of Abu Ageila from three different scales. Company, platoon, and now we're going to be stepping into squad. If you've been following the videos for the last month and a half, 2 months or so, you kind of know what I'm talking about. If you don't, if you're joining us for the first time, really recommend go back and watching those older videos. I don't want to take up too much time getting into this. I will say right off the bat, I'm not going to be playing with any optional rules in this one. I figure I've probably got enough stuff that I'm going to try to remember and keep track of to begin with. So I'm not going to throw in the added headache of the optional rules as well. We are going to be playing with the uh, impulse system, not the advanced to contact system. Uh, I've gone over it before. I don't like the advanced to contact system. I prefer the impulse system. The impulse system is why I started playing ATS. Uh, it just it works for me. I prefer it. We go to the advanced to combat system. It's just a lamer way of playing ASL. The impulse system really sets this game apart from other systems. And that's kind of why I like it. Let's not remove all the moved markers. Maybe because they're not on the map. That's why. All right, so we're going to just go ahead and jump into this. It doesn't say who gets to go first, but honestly, I'm not going to roll for initiative because there's no Israeli units on the board yet, and Egyptians don't know where they're moving on. So them having the first impulse, they don't get to really do anything. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and step into it. Let's go ahead and follow the turn sequence though, just so everything is nice and orderly, so I can set it in my mind what the turn. See, that's the problem with playing so many games and then jumping into kind of an advanced game like this. I get confused and I lose track of things quite often. Okay. Let's see. Fully engaged. Yeah, that's the impulse system. Indirect fire, fire and movement, close assault, end of turn. All right, so indirect fire, there is no indirect. Oh, that one thing I will mention. For some reason, the scenario, and again, we've already pointed out a couple of issues with the scenario rules mainly and how the victory points are figured out. The game gives the Egyptians a forward observer. Is that 118 right here? He's a forward observer, but there's no corresponding artillery form. Not really quite sure why he was added in the game. Was there supposed to be Egyptian artillery that didn't get added in? Or is he just added in there because forward observers are worth more victory points? This is a victory point kill game. Because honestly, other than that, he does nothing. I mean, he doesn't act like a leader. He can't rally. I mean, his spotting is extended by, I think, an additional 10 or 20 hexes. Again, not something we're going to be worried about too much in this game's optimal spotting conditions. At best, the troops that are in the buildings can only be seen from 10 hexes away, I think, the spotting range. Everything else is, as long as it's moving, it's like 24 hexes. So not really going to worry too much about spotting. But yeah, so there's this Egyptian forward observer, and not really sure why he's there. So we're just going to go ahead and start off with the Israelis, and because whenever I approach a game, this is kind of a big game. I mean, it really is a big board. Maybe not a lot of unit count size on it, but from size wise, it's still kind of a big game. I like to break the game down into, it's each little subsections and then go off of that. Decide, all right, this subsection here, this subsection here, this subsection here, instead of trying to take an overall. I mean, I've got an overall plan in my head how I'm going to approach the battle. But as far as doing the individual turns, I try to break it down into smaller bite-sized portions. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off kind of in the north with the Israeli armor, and the Israeli armor is going to come on from the north side. Probably, I'll worry about rotating them. And for those of you that did watch my last ATS video, Panther Line, Tigers on the Hill, realized that I had a lot of issues with hill line of sight. I didn't quite understand them as well as I could have. Sat down with my ASL mentor, Sam Belcher, and kind of went over hills and how hill line of sight is supposed to work. I do have a greater understanding of it now. We'll see how well that plays out in the game. Pretty sure, because I was doing pancaking all wrong. For example, in when I was doing Panther Line, I was mistakenly, this guy's on a plus. So take for example this guy right here, this artillery 100 millimeter is on a level 20. I was confusing the pancake from would go into effect from the level 10s because it's more than one hex away, and then line of sight wouldn't be seen out from there. I had it completely wrong. The hill will create a blind hex, or at least, being two hexes away, will, since it's not a contiguous slope, will create a blind hex of, I think it's one or two hexes, depending on how, I think pretty much one hex. I think over 13 hexes, that could generate two hexes, blind hex. But basically, I was confusing the pancake effect and making it more powerful than it should have been. So suffice to say, this gun sitting up here does have line of sight. It will probably have one hex, blind hex, kind of at the base of this hill, just because of how this hill slope works. Hopefully, the gun will be able to shoot stuff before they get to that one hex, blind hex. But for those of you who were worried that I may mess up hills, I probably still will mess them up a little bit, but the chances of me messing them up as bad as I did in Pantherline are much less. All right, so let's go ahead and start this. Let's just go ahead and, you know what? Let's go bring him on. Let's get it so we can see a little bit better. That's the other thing I like about doing the bite-sized sections. I also like being able to zoom down. I do this in all the games, any tactical, any operational, any strategic. I like zooming in as close as I can when I'm on the computer, mainly because my eyesight's crap and I like to see stuff, but mainly because I get a better feel zoomed in. Let's see, where's rotate? Rotate. One of these days, I should probably really learn the keyboard commands. All right, so this guy's going to go ahead. He's got a movement of 12 and 7, so it's I can't even remember, cross country and assault move. He's going to be coming in assault move. There's going to be one movement point right there. Okay, so he spent one movement point. That's going to, and I could have brought him in over other. This is just good enough. We're just seeing how the system plays. So that is going to trigger an op fire from that 100 millimeter. Now, since it's at a plus 20 height and the target is 1, 2, 5 hexes away, there's a 1 hex blind hex. So this hex, since it is not a contiguous slope, this will be the blind hex. As far as I'm concerned about my understanding of the hill rules correctly. So M3 would be the blind hex, but he can go ahead and see. So he is going to go ahead and he is going to fire, but he's got to rotate to be able to do it. And he is going to do one hex side, which will put him, actually, you know what? Just to make it a little bit more. Let's go ahead and bring him on there, which will force the AT gun to have to do a 2 vertex rotation. Oops, wrong way. Clockwise and clockwise. Counterclockwise. Counterclockwise. All right. So, and you got to remember, guns and APCs, heavy guns and tanks have to be pointed towards the vertex. So that's why we had to rotate him. I couldn't just shoot down the hex row because guns and tanks can't do that. All right. So we're going to be shooting. Let's go ahead and grab my massive. I had to print these things out on 11 by 17. These are friggin' huge. Printing them out on 8.5 by 11, I couldn't read the text, so I had to print them out on 11 by 17. All right, so let's look at the hit probability. It is a B class weapon, and we are looking at range 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hexes. Okay, now I will say something real quick. Those of you who don't follow the Gimpy Gamer YouTube channel, you should really probably follow him. Nate does some really extraordinary stuff over there. What he's started doing in his video editing is that he will has figured out in the post editing how to put the pictures of the counters blown up on the screen in the lower left hand corner. Now I'm not really sure how he does it, but he does it, and it's really damn cool. And I need to talk to him to figure out how he does do that. So we got 3 to 8 hexes, so it's going to be base to hit at 8. Let's see. Let's take a look at the unit card. See if there is. I know I've got the cards here. Any size modifiers for firing at the HVMBT. Size is a -1. Okay. So that's going to make it a 9 to hit. Okay, changed covered arc, gun covered arc of +3 and +1 per hex side thereafter. So 3 + 1 is 4. So 9, 8, 7, 6, 5. Let's see if there's any other modifiers. Nope, I'm pretty sure that's the only. Yeah, so we need a 5 to hit. Here's my dice roller. 1. Up, 7, missed. All right, so that's not good. Probably pull out moved counters. And probably should pull out fire markers as well. And I'll worry about burst on target and stuff like that later. Clone that. Stick that on there. Yeah, the infantry hasn't fired, but yeah. Okay. So, well, I think what's going to happen now is since we used assault move and they can fire at any point during their movement, op fired, missed. So let's go ahead and take that Sherman and fire at the gun emplacement. So that is going to be a B class weapon. Pretty sure it says it on the counter, but let me check the card just to be sure. Yep, B class weapon. So it's going to need a base to hit of 8 as well. Let's see, 8. Okay, +5 for assault firing vehicle main armament, so that's a 3. Target size modifier. Is there a target size modifier? I don't think there's a target size modifier for gun. Terrain cover state. They're in a weapons pit. Weapons pit is cover is improved. So that is 2. So we're looking at a 1. Okay. That looks like that is all the modifiers. So we're looking at a 1 to hit. Roll it. 8, that's a miss. Now, since he fired, stick the fired marker on there. But since it's assault moving, he can continue to move if he wants to. But I don't think I want to. I think that's a pretty good position right there. So that is going to be it for the Israeli turn. And back to the flip over to the Egyptians' turn. They've already fired their main gun. Not really much more that I can do. The infantry can't. Oh, the leader. I forgot I had a leader, but it should have modified it by +1. Wouldn't have changed the to hit anyways. So Egyptians pass. Now the Israelis will go again. This guy, let's get him on. Let's go ahead and bring this one on here. 2, 3, 5, 7. Yeah, that's still a base to hit of 8. Yeah, I got to be over 8 hexes. He'll assault move into there. There's no fire that can be done. He'll go ahead and shoot. Again, it's going to be the same to hit as the first Sherman, which was a 1 in 10 chance. 6, nope. And these weapons don't have multiple rates of fire or rate of fire, so it's not like they're going to be able to fire or get a chance to fire more in one turn. Flips back to the Egyptians. Egyptians don't have anything. Mainly, the only thing the Egyptians have left or have that can do anything is all down here in the city and or the little village down here. And there's not like there's anything that can even reach out that far to hurt them. So Egyptians just go ahead and pass. Flip back over to the Israelis. Bring on the other tank. This guy will come on. Let's see, we bring him on there. He'll go ahead and shoot with assault fire. Oops. That there again. We're looking at 1 in 10. 5, nothing. And then Egyptians can't do anything. Okay, so we'll go ahead and bring on final half, or at least this half track. You got to remember, this is that special half track I was mentioning last video that has the wire guided missile system on it. Do I want to bring? Well, I'm going to have to bring it on. But you know what? I do not want. If I get too close. What I was thinking of doing is taking him and running him right up into the one of the hill blind hexes from the gun, so the gun couldn't take a pot shot at it next turn. But I still forgot that I had the infantry up here. They had a range of 1 or 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I get within, pretty much anywhere right there. The infantry'd be able to fire and could possibly knock him out. So you know what? Let's go ahead and bring him on over here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hide him behind this wadi, or not wadi, this little hillock. So go ahead and stick him instead. And it's got the moved on there, so I'm not going to bother moved marker on. Really, the only thing that could reach in, yeah, range of 5 on those machine guns. So there's that. A lot less exciting and thrilling than I had hoped it would be. But, whatever. Which is kind of bad for me because if I don't knock that gun out, we're going to be dealing with that gun when the Egyptian armor shows up, and I want my armor or the Israeli armor to be up on the hill before the Egyptian armor comes on. So now we've got over here. Let's see. The first thing we want. Let's get a better look. Where did I want to bring half? I think I want, or not the half track, the mind flip. I think I wanted to bring the mind flip up here. Basically because it's no sense clearing these mines here. I mean, I could clear these mines here because it's got this wire here. But actually, that's not a bad idea because if I break open that hole, then I can drive stuff in through it. All right, so we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Should I fire? Probably not going to hit crap. Well, let's not even fire. We'll just move him to right there. And really, at this point, the only thing the Egyptians have that can hurt Israeli armors as RPGs, and RPGs have only got a range of 4. So the Egyptians are going to kind of snuggle down. Could move him up closer here to respond, but I think I'm going to hold off moving anything yet till I see where more of the Egyptian or the Israeli attack forms up at. So Egyptians a pass. Let's see, we got this mortar half track here. Let's go ahead. You know what? I should probably do that first. Probably should have done that beforehand. But they're all facing the right way. It's pretty cool, though. That's something I didn't realize. Thought it would flip the infantry, but it didn't. The infantry, well, sport weapons, but not sport weapons. So I don't know if that's a basic vassal design or if that's something that Scott added in when he crafted the module. Anyways, so let's go ahead. Another armor unit on. Oh no, we were going to bring the half track on. So this guy is going to cross country because I know what I'm going to do. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up the hill, 6, to 7 for up the hill, 8, and I think scrub is just 1 point. No, 2 points. Well, that's going to be 9 to get him up there, and that's a good position for him because since he's got the mortar, he can just start dropping shells into the city. And this is where we're gonna see how well my hill line of sight works, because those buildings are gonna block a little bit of line of sight. But it's artillery. Artillery can't assault fire anyways, so it was just fine that I could move my entire or use over or cross country to get up on top of the hill. Again, well, the medium machine gun could reach out. No, we're going to hold off on firing that medium machine gun. Still don't know where the bulk of the Israeli forces are coming. Oh, these guys will come in, and these guys will do the assault move. 6, 1, 4, 5, 6. Now, again, since it's optimal spotting conditions, and these are infantry and Mason are improved, I can see them from 10 hexes away. Now, if I wanted to shoot at them, which I could, that means I can spot them, so I can shoot at them. So let's take a look at what the odds are. I think it's probably going to be about a 1, like it was shooting at the gun. Okay, so this is an 8 class weapon. Well, that doesn't change things. A and B's are pretty much similar until you get to 9 to 16. So you got range of 8, or no, range of 1, 2, 3, 5, which puts it to the 3 to 8 column. Base to hit is 8. Assault fire vehicle main armament +5, which makes it a 3. And there, I forgot to check what those buildings were. Those were improved. Or let's see what. I don't think it says. I'm going to have to. I don't think they're Mason. I did check a lot of stuff before I started playing, but that is one that did kind of overlook my. Just to making sure I had the rules straight in my mind. Get the rule book real quick. Building type. Port. Factor. Because normally it's defined as either brown or wooden or gray or mason. That's not either one. I don't think it's wood, and I don't think it's mason. I am going to have to check that out. I'll do that later. We'll just go and err on the side of caution and assume it's the best type right now. So there's going to be Mason, which is going to be, where's the bar for Mason, which is +3, which is going to be a 0 to hit. So I can't even hit him when I'm on the move. Now I got a bunch of machine guns I could fire because they got a range of 10. I got a bow, coax, and anti-aircraft. I think to use the anti-aircraft, I have to be open. I'm not going to do that. But I do have the bow and coax. Okay, bow and coax, which will be 8. Actually, be 1 and 2. It'll be 3. It would be on the 3 column, but +3 for the Mason, which will actually be the 2 column. And there's only a 1 in 10 chance of me getting to it. I don't think we're going to waste our fire yet. So Israelis are done. Switch back over to the Egyptians. They're not doing anything. Bring the next one on. 2, 4, 5, 6. Again, could fire. Not really going to be helpful. Not going to. Or Israelis done. Switches over to the Egyptians. They pass 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now again, they've got these RPGs, but these RPGs are at range, are only range 4. So firing with them isn't going to do anything. And actually keeping them back probably is a smart thing for me. Wait until the tanks get in closer. All right, so Egyptians pass. So let's go ahead, bring these trucks on. They've got a 16 and 9. These are trucks. Let's bring them in down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Be done with that. Trucks are very, very fragile, so I don't want them getting shot at. And part of the victory conditions is control of +20 or +10 or +20 hills. And since this hill is considered a hillock with these hexes being +5, but these hexes being +10, these 4 hexes do actually count towards victory points. So let's go ahead and bring these trucks in. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6, 7. And I think that's going to be it. I think for during the infiltration phase, I'll unload them out of the passengers out and get them up here so they can grab those victory points. Now for the half tracks. Again, the Egyptians are just going to keep passing. There's nothing to do. Yeah, half tracks. Good and full and good cover, or good and full cover. They got an armor of 0. I don't want to get. They're going to get shot at. I was wanting to bring the half. You know what? I think I will do that. Let's see. Guys, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Bring the half tracks as long as I stay outside of their range. Although, is there extended range in this game? Another problem of playing too many game systems. I think actually I can fire out to double my range at half firepower. I'm pretty sure I can. Oh God, it's funny. I'm not going to worry about it now. Let's just assume that I can, but you know what? Just because we're kind of getting close to the end of the turn, get the Egyptian forces on, or the rest of the Israeli forces, or 5, what is there? 14 or 7. Go cross country. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13. And then let's go ahead. Turn there for 14. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13. I got there. see my keyboard real well to see my F keys. 2, 3, 7, 10, 11. 10, 12, 13. Final one will here. We'll prep for a mechanized armored assault next turn. Should all be one more hex spine. There we go. Vehicle's got to point towards the vertices. Again, they have machine guns. They've got anti-aircraft and coax. An anti-aircraft, yeah. Oh, bow and anti-aircraft. But yeah, it's assault fire. Yeah, got it at that range. All right. So what do we got? That is it. The impulse phase. Then we have the infiltration phase. And roll initiative at the beginning. I'm pretty sure we roll initiative. Again, just those little niggling rules like that I forget. You know, I don't stay up to date on the system every month, which is one of the reasons why I will never really be good at something like Advanced Squad Leader. Part of my ASO group, there are guys, most of everybody up there, that's the only thing they play. All they play is ASL, so they get real good at it. Me, I don't like being locked to one game. I like playing a bunch of other. So the downside to that is I forget on occasion. Yeah, so initiative. So we'll go. This may actually this probably isn't going to have. But let's just go ahead. Okay, we'll go probably red for attack or black for defense. So highest to lowest. You'd think something like that. I'd remember. Oh God. 4.2 for initiative. Lowest receives the initiative. So Egyptians can go first. So infiltration. Basically, what I'm going to have these guys do is I'm going to have the infantry infiltrate out of the trucks. So, because since victory points do count in this game, I don't want to put those trucks out there so the Egyptians can knock them off. But I can unload these guys during the infiltration phase, which is what we'll do. And then I'll just pull those trucks back. And this is going to be embarrassing. I don't think vehicles can infiltrate. I'm fairly certain vehicles can't infiltrate 1X. We'll check just to make sure, because I like getting my rules confused and overthinking stuff all the time. Okay. Vehicles never use infiltration. All right, but the Egyptians, do they want to infiltrate anybody or anything? Yeah. No, I think we're good. I think we're good. Actually, what I think I'm going to do is these guys are going to infiltrate here just to get them mostly out of the line of sight. And if I was thinking, probably should, you know what, I'm going to do it anyways. I'm going to retro it during one of the phases when I saw that the Israelis were shifting their half tracks up there. This guy is going to go ahead and move. He's fall back here. That's going to be blind. Yeah, he's going to. And that won't trigger any op fire. Pretty sure. Blind hexes all over the place. A block line of sight because of that. All right, so that's going to be it. That's pretty quick and easy. Turn one down, which is good that the first turn is rather light because that allows me to slip back into the rules a little bit easier. So can later turns will go a little bit better, and I won't have to be referring to the rule book. But I will have to check about the status of those buildings, whether they're considered wooden or mason. And that's all I got. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section. I'll see everybody next time. See ya. Where's my button at?